Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this virtual apprentice binding freedom ceremony. Normally, this ceremony would be held in the courtroom here at Stationers' Hall, with the master and representatives of the court of the Stationers' Company bedecked in their gowns and resplendent with their badges of office. A magical setting for a somewhat mysterious and medieval ceremony. Sadly, current COVID-19 restrictions render this impossible. And today, as with all our recent events, we have to rely on a different, but often equally impenetrable kind of magic, that of Zoom. I apologize for this, but I hope that we can still make this a special and memorable event, which we hope will be the first of many Stationers' events for the new apprentices and freemen attending today.
Are there any apprentices to be bound this day?
Yes, Master, there are 8 apprentices to be bound. May I proceed?
Please proceed.
Mr. Beadle, please admit Liveryman Andy Jones and Manos Capterian.
Please acknowledge the master.
Good afternoon,
Good afternoon, Master.
Manos Capterian, please confirm that the indenture which is before you contains your name and signature.
Yes.
Do you wish to be bound apprentice to Liveryman Andy Jones for the remaining term of your apprenticeship?
Yes.
Liveryman Andy Jones, do you wish bound to you under apprenticeship for the remaining term of his apprenticeship, Manos Capterian?
Yes.
Master, Manos Capterian is bound apprentice to Liveryman Andy Jones for the remaining term of his apprenticeship. Mr. Beadle, please admit Past Master Helen Esmond and Jonathan Price, Megan Kitts, Chris Hughes, and Jack Ward.
Please acknowledge the master.
Good afternoon, Master.
Jonathan Price, Megan Kitts, Chris Hughes, and Jack Ward, please confirm that the indentures which are before you contain your names and your signatures.
Yes.
Yes.
Do you wish to be bound apprentice to Past Master Helen Esmond for the remaining terms of your apprenticeships?
Yes.
Yes.
Past Master Helen Esmond, do you wish bound to you under apprenticeship for the remaining terms of their apprenticeships, Jonathan Price, Megan Kitts, Chris Hughes, and Jack Ward?
Yes.
Master, Jonathan Price, Megan Kitts, Chris Hughes, and Jack Ward are bound apprentice to Past Master Helen Esmond for the remaining terms of their apprenticeships. Mr. Beadle, please admit Liveryman Tyler Carey and Adrian Lloyd Brown.
Please acknowledge the master.
Good afternoon, Master.
Good afternoon, Master.
Adrian Lloyd Brown, please confirm that the indenture which is before you contains your name and signature.
Yes.
Do you wish to be bound apprentice to Liveryman Tyler Carey for the remaining term of your apprenticeship?
Yes.
Liveryman Tyler Carey, do you wish bound to you under apprenticeship for the remaining term of his apprenticeship, Adrian Lloyd Brown?
Yes.
Master. Adrian Lloyd Brown is bound apprentice to liveryman Tyler Carey for the remaining term of his apprenticeship. Mr. Beadle, please admit liveryman-elect Richard Mawson and Stephen Walker.
Please acknowledge the master.
Good afternoon, Master.
Stephen Walker, please confirm that the indenture which is before you contains your name and signature.
Yes.
Do you wish to be bound apprentice to liveryman-elect Richard Mawson for the remaining term of your apprenticeship?
Yes.
Liveryman-elect Richard Mawson, do you wish bound to you under apprenticeship for the remaining term of his apprenticeship, Stephen Walker?
Yes.
Master, Stephen Walker is bound apprentice to liveryman-elect Richard Mawson for the remaining term of his apprenticeship. Mr. Beadle, please admit Court Assistant Doug Wills and Abianca Maconi.
Please acknowledge the master.
Good afternoon, Master.
Abianca Maconi, please confirm that the indenture which is before you contains your name and signature.
Yes.
Do you wish to be bound apprentice to Court Assistant Doug Wills for the remaining term of your apprenticeship?
Yes.
Court Assistant Doug Wills, do you wish bound to you under apprenticeship for the remaining term of her apprenticeship, Abianca Maconi?
Yes.
Master, Abianca Maconi is bound apprentice to Court Assistant Doug Wills for the remaining term of her apprenticeship. New apprentices. The master of the company will now address you.
New apprentices, you are entering professions with very long associations with the stationer's company. Writers and book publishers were among the 97 men named in the company's original royal charter, granted to us by Queen Mary Tudor in 1557. And digital marketing, digital and technology solutions and journalists are modern variants of these very important trades. Your future lies in your own hands. Remember that many of the top people in industry and in public life started as you have started, and often without the advantages of education that you have had. You must learn to recognize and seize your opportunities whenever they come, and come they surely will. You may well meet during your career disgruntled, unhappy people who are dissatisfied with their life and jealous of those who have advanced themselves. They sometimes wish to pull down and destroy authority and fail to do anything useful or constructive in their jobs. I am sure that you will not follow their example. Be loyal to your masters and to those who are set over you. Be willing to learn, to ask questions, to find out why things are being done as they are. Strive to increase your knowledge by studying and by being open to new experiences. Be willing to do more than that which is expected of you, and to execute whatever job is given you more quickly and better. If you eventually become a freeman of the City of London, as I hope you will be given a little book called Rules for the Conduct of Life. Since this ceremony is an ancient one, I shall quote the traditional language of the book to say, "Let the end you aim at always be good. Be vigorous, making power for proper use of means for the compassing of such an end, and in doing this, be always very circumspect." Under normal circumstances, I would now present each one of you, somewhat appropriately, with a book to commemorate your apprenticeship ceremony, in accordance with the wishes of the former members of this company who left us money for this purpose. Thomas Parkhurst in 1712 and Luke Hansard in 1818. However, I understand from the clerk that appropriate arrangements have been made for these books to be sent to you by post. I wish you all every success. I'm looking forward to making you free of the company when your apprenticeships come to an end at some point in the future.
Master, stationers, ladies and gentlemen, we will now proceed to the freedom ceremony.
Mr. Clerk, are there any persons desiring to be admitted to the freedom of the company?
Yes, Master, there are 11.
Have they been approved by the court?
Yes, Master.
Mr. Clerk, please call the applicants forward to be admitted to the freedom.
As the Master pleases. Mr. Beadle, please admit the applicants for the freedom.
Please acknowledge the Master.
Good afternoon, Master.
Master, the applicants for the freedom are now before you.
Mr. Clerk, will you now have them make the declaration?
Applicants for the freedom, will you please make the declaration which is before you?
I, Cameron David Briggs.
I, William Henry Cronk.
I, Leah May Hopkinson.
I, John Simon Lodge.
I, Alex Rose Long. I, Abianca McConey.
I, Zoe Catherine Mayer.
I, Poppy Alexandra Hannah Marks.
I, Kenneth Joseph O'Connor.
I, Lauren Elizabeth Smithers.
I, Jack Patrick Ward.
Do solemnly declare that I will be good and true to our sovereign lady, Queen Elizabeth, and be obedient to the Master and wardens of this company in a lawful manner. That I will also keep secret all the lawful counsel of this fellowship, all manner of lawful rules and ordinances for the good ordering of the said fellowship, and will to be the best of my skill observe and keep. I will be willing, helping, and furthering
to the good governance
and
of
welfare
the
of the
same
said fellowship,
fellowship,
and that I will not be party or privy in any council or device that may be to the hurt or hindrance of the said company, or to the overthrowing and breaking of good laws and ordinances of the same. All such practices, councils, and devices, I will disclose to said Master and wardens of the company, and then labour to hinder and break as much as in me lies.
And then labour to hinder and break as much as in me lies.
Master, with your permission, we have made arrangements that the applicants for the freedom will sign their names in the declaration book to the declaration they have just made at the earliest opportunity after the COVID-19 restrictions so allow.
I so permit, and I admit Cameron David Briggs, William Henry Cronk, Leah May Hopkinson, John Simon Lodge, Alex Rose Long, Abianca McConey, Zoe Catherine Mayer, Poppy Alexandra Hannah Marks, Kenneth Joseph O'Connor, Lauren Elizabeth Smithers, and Jack Patrick Ward to the freedom by servitude.
Master, at this point in the ceremony, each new freeman would normally come forward and receive from you their freedom certificate along with a copy of the history of the company written by Honorary Archivist Emeritus Robin Myers, MBE. With your permission, we have made arrangements that the new freeman will receive these items by post.
I so permit.
New freeman, you will now be presented by the beadle to the Underwarden of the company.
Underwarden man, I present our new freeman, Cameron David Briggs, William Henry Cronk, Leah May Hopkinson, John Simon Lodge, Alex Rose Long, Abianca Maconi, Zoe Catherine Mayer, Poppy Alexandra Hannah Marks, Kenneth Joseph O'Connor, Lauren Elizabeth Smithers, and Jack Patrick Ward.
Welcome to the company. And I now remind you of the poor box for a donation on behalf of our brethren and widows in distressed circumstances.
Master, at this point in the ceremony, our new freeman would normally make a contribution to the poor box in the form of a donation registered for gift aid. They will be sent an envelope for this purpose immediately after this ceremony, and no doubt will return their contributions in due course.
I thank you, Mr. Clark. And first of all, before I say anything more, I must just say that for those people who come from the Christian tradition, the making of your declaration a few minutes ago sounded very much to me like the report of the first Pentecost, where everyone was speaking at once, but no one could understand each other. Now, even if you're not from that tradition, it certainly felt spirit inspired in some sense or another. So thank you for that. And thank you for taking part with such spirit all the way through, both you and all those who are your supporters and sponsors and those who you're bound to. Many years ago now, my father-in-law, who worked in the then rather controversial and unfashionable place of Aldermaston, which was a nuclear or atomic bomb establishment, took me along to the apprentices passing out parade, as I think it was called. It was an annual event and quite an occasion. Some 200 or 300 or so, and I think in those days it was all men, came forward for their certificates. They were presented by Sir William Penny, or by that time I think he was Lord Penny, the distinguished nuclear scientist. At that time, apprenticeship remained one of the key means of training and educating, especially in industries and disciplines rooted in engineering. Sadly, not long after that, apprenticeship was allowed to fade in many industries. Happily, albeit rather belatedly, it is being rediscovered and enthusiastically pursued. Even my own father, who had a creative and talented career in the advertising industry, was caught up from his youth in publishing, printing and graphics, and had to learn much of this effectively by being an apprentice in every aspect of his work, in drawing, writing, editing, and even typing. He had a very nippy set of fingers on the keys, when I remained still, I'm afraid, miserably slow with 2 fingers on the machine. Very happily in our own industries, printing, publishing, graphics, bookbinding, and so on, apprenticeship has never been lost as an essential educational pathway. Indeed, in most recent years, our company has been in the very forefront of nurturing apprenticeship. Past Master Helen Esmond, present with us now happily, has initiated amazing and seminal work, such as notably the annual gatherings in the Guildhall in the City of London. All this makes today's ceremony a particularly significant occasion. So my thanks to you all, apprentices and freemen. You are key members of our company, demonstrating very powerfully our rootedness in our own industries and also our investment in the future. We continue to expect great things of you, and that promise is exemplified by your presence here today, is also abundant evidence of your increasing role, of the increasing role of the worshipful company of stationers and newspaper makers, not only in the City of London, but also in the life of our nation in a fairly eventful time. Thank you so much, and we shall raise our glasses of champagne the very moment we can move on and our true humanity is restored following the pandemic. Thank you all so much.
Master, stationers, ladies and gentlemen, this now concludes the Freedom Ceremony and today's event. I would like to offer my heartfelt thanks to everyone who has attended, and especially to those who have taken part. The Stationers' Company is honoured to have 6 new apprentices and 11 new freemen. We look forward to the many occasions in the future, once the pandemic is over and life returns to normal, when we can welcome all of you to Stationers' Hall in celebration of the warm fellowship for which this company is very well known. Until then, please stay safe and Godspeed. Thank you.